I didn't get any coffee. I'm not gonna be talking. I mean, coffee. I mean, what? Did they just kill a sled team of dogs? Hi there, Bastion here. I'm probably showing my age. I'm old. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do about it? When I was little, probably too young to be watching this, there was a show on Adult Swim called Oh Canada. From what I can gather, it is just a collection of Canadian cartoons. Some of my earliest adolescent memories come from this weird cartoon for some reason. I feel like maybe this show had some impact on my brain and changed the way that I saw movies and shows and TV and media and stuff. Some of these just really negatively infected? Oh, negatively affected me. I don't know if I ever got over it. We're gonna watch some O Canada cartoons. Wait, was this on Adult Swim? This wasn't on Adult Swim. This was just on Cartoon Network. It was on like late night creepy Cartoon Network was what it was on. The intro on its own is just its own thing. I thought Japan had weird cartoon stuff going on. Let's just watch it and find out.
Canada! Canada! Canada.
Okay, right off the bat, that intro speaks for itself. Just all the different, just the weird art styles. It's the art styles for me.
2 hours later.
Should I hide my Bastion there again? What was that sentence? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm editing a video in a new way, so I don't know what's going to be in it and what's not. So editing me in the future, figure out your life, okay? I watch these videos. I'm talking about O Canada cartoons, okay? And how they have severely affected my life into adulthood. Well into adulthood. I am well into adulthood. Still feel like I need a more adult. Millennial life. Alright, we're going to talk about the family that dwelt apart. This one surprised me. I do remember this one vaguely from when I was little, but I don't remember it being so wild. This cartoon was a roller coaster from start to finish. The very cartoony drawings threw me off because I wasn't expecting what happened in this video, okay? So we got this family that lives on an island. They make their own food. They don't worry about anybody else. They only go to the mainland once in a while because they don't need to. They make all their own stuff.
There were 7 of them, and they were the sole inhabitants of the place.
One winter they get stuck on the island because everything is ice, there's too much snow. They're fine because they fend for themselves. But somehow the people on the mainland remembered that these people were on the island and thought, oh God, they're stuck. What do? We need to get help to them because they're gonna die if we don't, because they're stuck in the blizzard on an island and they can't go anywhere. They send the army.
The army got there first.
And they send a news airplane.
The newsreel plane, smaller than the bombers and equipped with skis, arrived next.
And they send sled dogs.
Acting on a tip that one of the Pruitt children had appendicitis, arranged for a dog team to be sent by plane.
They send rescuers on foot.
Also dispatched a squad of troopers to attempt a crossing of the bay.
And this is where it gets scary, alright? Some of the rescuers die.
Snow began falling at sundown, and during the night, 3 of the rescuers lost their lives about half a mile from shore.
The airplane with the dog sled team dies.
And the plane went into a steep dive and crashed against the side of a powerhouse, instantly killing the pilot and all the dogs, and fatally injuring Walter Ringstead, 7, of 3452 Garden View Avenue.
This other rescue airplane arrives and says, dude, one of your kids has appendicitis. Just out of nowhere, somehow they know better than dad or the kids because everybody was fine. The oldest boy is like, yeah, I guess my side kind of hurts, so maybe I do have appendicitis. So they take boy to the mainland to have surgery.
But Charles said his side did hurt a little, and it ended by his leaving in the gyro.
Later on, because nobody is communicating here, surgeons land in this house and surgery on the smallest boy because he has appendicitis too, and nobody just says no in this cartoon. So smallest boy ends up dying after surgery.
This lad died later from eating dried apricots too soon after his illness.
Okay. Older boy who is done with surgery comes back home. He comes home in the spring to find
the house was gone, having caught fire on the third and last night of the rescue, when a flare dropped by one of the departing planes lodged in a bucket of trash on the piazza. After the fire, Mr. Pruitt had apparently moved his family into the emergency shed that the radio announcers had thrown up, and there they had dwelt under rather difficult conditions until the night the entire family was wiped out by drinking a 10% solution of carbolic acid that the surgeon had left behind and that Pa Pruitt had mistaken for grain alcohol.
What? This was made for children. This aired on Cartoon Network. Everybody died. The next one we watched, I'm only going to touch on, was The Log Driver's Waltz, which is just a lovely cartoon and a lovely song about this lady who had to get married and chose to get married to a log driver because they have fancy feet. They're good at dancing because they have to walk on logs on the river all the time. I made a startling discovery in the middle of this video.
On the river, so when the drive's over, if he asks me again.
He looks like somebody. Who am I thinking that he looks like? Oh my god. He looks like Gavin from the Slow-Mo Guys. I don't want to say it's the nose, but it might be the nose. Next up is Black Flies. I'm not sure why, I really loved it when I was little, but it also really scared me. This one was a lovely song about this guy who left to work up in Ontario.
Was early in the spring when I decided to go for to work up in the woods in North Ontario.
He was bothered constantly by the black flies.
The black flies, the little black flies, always the black fly, no matter where you go, I'll die with the black fly picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario.
The art is kind of weird. Cutesy little story about the black flies picking this guy's bones. So let's just add more drops into the very full bucket of me being afraid of skeletons, gore, and the idea of things eating you. Just a general creepiness that O Canada gave me.
'Twas black fly everywhere, a crawling in the whiskers, a crawling in the hair, swimming in the soup, swimming in the tea. The devil take the black fly, let me be.
We have this part that just freaked me out where the flies eat this guy and are just carrying his bones away to their little black fly nests or whatever.
Always the black fly, no matter where you go, I'll die with the black fly picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario.
At the end, during the credits, we have this thing in the middle where this skeleton just dances for a moment. Can any more creepy skeleton things happen? Please, just give me all of them, because I'm not traumatized enough. The third video we watched was called The Big Snit. This one has just bored a hole into my subconscious and has lived in my brain rent-free since I saw it as a 10-year-old. This cartoon is about a husband and wife. Oh my lord! I forgot how gigantic her weird lips were, and their bird and their cat. So clearly this husband and wife are having disagreements in their marriage. It begins showing a fight over a Scrabble game.
Come on, dear.
Wait a minute!
It's your turn.
Just wait a minute!
All right. All right. You let me know when you're ready, then.
Wife seems ignorantly happy, kind of. like she's just trying to hide her suffering. And husband, it just seems very angry. He needs some therapy. I love how he gets so mad his hair just stands up on end. So he turns on Sawing for Teens.
It's time for
But he likes the show, and you see throughout the episode, Saw is kind of hanging out, stuck in places because husband keeps sawing things in the house. He's watching these teens sawing, he falls asleep. While he's sleeping and his teeth are rattling in his head, his teeth rattle, the wife's eyes rattle, there's an announcement on the TV. The reporter is a skeleton. I don't know why this was the artist's choice, but this was also something that freaked me out as a child. Just added to my growing fear of skeletons and gore and the insides of bodies.
A severe worldwide nuclear war has broken out.
The cat chews through the wire on the TV and breaks it. Husband wakes up not seeing this broadcast on the TV. He doesn't know what's going on. And of course, wife didn't hear it because she was vacuuming. He sees out the window that people are going crazy. And he thinks, oh, maybe it's just a parade.
Is there some kind of parade on or something?
He decides to sit back down, and instead of going back to the Scrabble game immediately, he starts sawing the armchair that he's sitting in. Then decides to cheat. He wants to see what his wife has on the Scrabble game. She has Karist. He denies cheating.
Oh, did you look at my letters?
No.
He denies sawing.
Would you stop sawing the table?
What? I'm not.
And she denies shaking her eyes.
Why are you always shaking your eyes?
I don't shake them
Yes,
like I used
you
to.
do.
They get in a huge argument. He gets so mad, he slams the Scrabble board, and Scrabble pieces get stuck in his throat. He's choking to death, and she just starts crying and walks away.
I'm not.
Then he has kind of a flashback to when they went on a date together, and it's very cute, and it makes him sad that he got mad. He feels bad, so he hesitates for a moment. Then decides to get up and go comfort her. They have a giant Goodwill tire in their hallway. He comforts her by playing the what is this thing called? So they kind of make up, they fall back in love. And Kat is like, I want out of this. You almost sawed me in half. And so husband is like, okay, I'll let you out.
Hey, you want to go outside? Is that what you want? What? Say what? Okay, there you go.
And the moment that he goes to let the cat out, the atomic bomb goes off and kills everybody. He opens the door and they are in heaven. Because everybody is dead. And the husband is like, well, let's go finish our Scrabble game.
Gee, it's days like this that you don't feel like doing anything.
Come on, let's finish the game.
When I tell you, this cartoon just screwed with my mind when I was little. An atomic bomb or this, like a meteor hitting Earth or something was one of my top fears when I was a child. And you know, I guess it came from this. I've saved the best for last. This one messed me up a lot, alright? I remember after seeing this for the first time, For days, it was all I could think about.
Pondering the mystery of what it means to be.
So it starts out with this lady. She talks about how she always has an existential crisis. She doesn't put it that way. She just thinks about who she is and what it means to be alive. So she gets this thing in the mail from a scientist saying that he wants to show some people his new machine that he's made.
The scientist explained that it was a brand new form of transportation that would greatly benefit humanity.
He's created a teleportation machine. And he demonstrates on this dude that you go into refrigerator number 1 and you come out refrigerator number 2. There's some noise that happens in between, but it's teleportation. The lady wants to know how it works. The scientist says, just ride in it and then you can see. You can see what happens. They hardcore push on you that it's taking a ride in the machine, which just seems, I don't know, seems weird. She's like, no, not until I know what happens. He tries to explain to her, makes it seem like it's the Willy Wonka thing. You know, like you go into the thing and you're blah, 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 through the air and it's the same particles and they just get set down in machine number 2 and you're just the same person rearranged normally.
If you really want to know. It's just a transmission based on the miracle of radio waves. In the first booth, we convert you, and in the second booth, you are reconstituted, just like your favorite breakfast beverage.
She still thinks something is fishy. She's like, no, I don't think that's how it works. You need to tell me the truth. He finally caves in and he says, well, you go into machine number 1, you're copied, you're put into machine number 2, and then the you that was in machine number 1 is destroyed.
The contents of the first booth were then destroyed.
Just this one little clip of the person in machine number 1 being destroyed really messed with me because he's just squished and then there's blood and it's disgusting, right? So this, we have another instance of like blood and gore and whatever to the smallest degree, but that is just going into my brain and making me still afraid of skeletons and blood and gore and things inside your body. She freaks out. She's like, you're killing somebody. Yeah, I might be killing somebody, but if I don't kill the original, then there'd be too many people running around. So it's like a moral blah blah blah. Is it bad to kill the original, or is it bad to make them in the first place? It's for the betterment of society to be able to transport from one place to another.
It seemed immoral that a person would have to be destroyed just to take a trip.
Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it and prove it to me that it's safe and everything is fine? So he does it. And he does it like 10 times.
I dared him to demonstrate.
Okay.
Do it with the door open. So he does it with the door open.
Oh. Oh.
She's like, okay, well then you're not you anymore. You're not the scientist who invented this machine anymore because you are just a copy of that scientist. You're just a copy of a copy of a copy.
In my opinion, the original had long since ceased to be.
She gets this idea.
I hatched a fiendish plan. I challenged the scientist to enter the booth again, but to first turn off the part of the device that destroyed the original.
The destroying part of the machine is depicted as a blender, and this was around the same time that like little flash animations and stuff were popular online, and I always ended up accidentally seeing them. And I remember that there was one, I don't remember what it was in, but there was an animation of a hamster being put into a blender or something like that, and I just... So add to blenders being part of my phobias when I was a child.
But I suggested that he merely delay the destruction process by 5 minutes.
So she asked the scientists.
2 identical scientists emerged.
Both of them, which one of you is the original? And they fight for a moment about who the original is, and she says, well, whoever the original is has to be destroyed. So then they fight over who the copy is.
To help resolve this dilemma, I suggested a friendly competition.
Which one are they going to murder? The winning scientist is excited because he doesn't have to be destroyed. And then she points out the original will probably be smarter than the copy, so the one who wins should be destroyed. And then, like, they force him into the machine to be destroyed?
I don't want to die. I'll be good. I won't eat much. I want to live. Let me go. I want to live. Please.
It's traumatizing because they just forced a guy into a fridge to be destroyed. And then the leftover scientist is like, well, I'm leaving. This is a bad idea. You don't have to do this anymore. Goodbye. He leaves.
The remaining scientist no longer insisted that I ride in his machine.
The girl decides, I feel really guilty about that, so what can I do? I feel bad.
Now that I am left alone, I feel I must atone.
Her original is destroyed. Her as a copy comes out and she's like, I'm a different person. I don't have bills anymore. I was just born today. I have a guilt-free conscience. I didn't do anything. That was the original me. I am just a copy of me. So I'm gonna go live my free life.
The original me was gone. And I was now a guiltless copy.
This is freaky. For a child on Cartoon Network to be watching this? Canada! What is going on? Are you okay? Traumatization from this. I'm going to let my original reaction to these cartoons play you out of the rest of the video. I'll put everything we watched today in the comments. I just want to point out that these are all creepy and disturbing in some way. No wonder millennials are all so messed up. I guess that's it for this video. I feel weird. Like, comment, subscribe if you like this video. I put out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. If you like me, like this video. If you don't like me, leave a hate comment because I don't care. I'll leave my social media stuff in the description box down below. I need to go process what I just watched. Maybe just go to sleep. If I can go to sleep. This just forced me into an existential crisis. I love you. Bye! Cannot wear a small hoodie. It's too small. Okay.